interacting with you, Mr. Vineet. Thank you so much. Congratulations, firstly, on 3 consecutive years of putting this panel together.
Thank you.
And a very big thank you as well for allowing this flow of information from such experts of the industry to first-time investors or not so big players. How's the response been so far after the first 2 panel discussions, today being the third? So
it has been very encouraging. I think our starting premise that there needs to be more research and there has to be greater knowledge sharing about this entire subsector within the pharmaceuticals, about specialty chemicals, is how we started 3 years ago. And we have had tremendous response from our investors who are our institutional clients because a lot has started getting covered through the research and debate and discussions and corporate interactions. We still believe there is a lot to be done because only the frontline companies, and especially the ones in the public market space which are traded on the stock exchanges, have got their dues in terms of the appreciation and in terms of the movement in the prices. But there is so much that is about to happen over the next 5 to 10 years that we think that what we did today as a 3rd year of annual conference is something that we will continue to do for many more years.
The discussion for today's panel, the topic rather, was discussing the next 10 years, the next decade in this industry. What role is Phillip Capital looking to play to further help first-time investors come into the market, or the smaller players to play a bigger role?
So there are 2-3 ways in which we think we can add value to this particular space. Those who are our existing clients will obviously should look at us to benefit from the research that is a continuous process. We have a coverage of this particular specialty sector, which is unique. At the same time, it is something that we want to do it more exhaustively. Those who are not in the public market space, as corporates, we want to identify some of the future winners and find out ways in which we could provide pre-IPO funding for them. So there were a few names that got discussed on the panel today, which are in the space of food dyes and flavor and fragrances or narcotics, which are very specialized areas, and perhaps these are the areas where India could come out with a cutting edge technology and leadership position globally. So our attempt will be to discover some of these future gems over the next couple of years and bring them to the public market space as well.
Fair enough. Coming to today's panel discussion, it was a very diverse panel. We had the veteran Mr. Ramakrishnan, while also we had someone as dynamic and young as Mr. Suyog. What are our key takeaways from today's panel?
So I think that the composition of the whole panel was quite balanced because as you must have noticed, there was that consultancy as one of the areas which was able to provide the big picture in terms of what is happening globally as compared to what could be the future opportunities for India. At the same time, we had some veterans like Mr. Palekar and Sanjay Chaturvedi, who have worked in the local industry as well as regional industry, who can identify what are the product mix and the downstream products that could actually play out very well as far as the Indian corporates are concerned. I think some of the key takeaways that I could share with with our larger audience today is where the challenges are, given the fact that there is a great opportunity, if you will, and one of the panelists talked about once in a lifetime kind of a opportunity that we are looking at over the next 5 to 10 years. One is the challenge coming from the infrastructural issues. Second is the channel coming from the non-availability of risk capital to try innovation and new technology, which perhaps will be the centerpiece of what India could achieve or may not end up achieving. And finally, talking about where the focus and the energy should be for an investor to identify the future winners by looking at some of the products where India already has a leading edge. As I said earlier, food dyes, flavors and fragrances are some of the things that came out quite quite openly and clearly.
Fair enough. The panel discussion started with a point and ended with the same, that the Indian industry is definitely blooming, and Phillip Capital is playing such a crucial role, and we wish you the best of luck, and looking forward to more of these informative conferences with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.